What is going on? What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? I wasn't sure if I was going to be kind of put this together last minute, basically. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody's work week? Man, it's been a long week for myself. I see everybody popping in now. What is up, Vic, Rudy, and Jason? Just work. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hopefully, everybody rested up and has a good or is rested up for the work week, right? It's been a rough summer for us. It's been a rough month. I can't wait for it to be over and then get started on the next stuff, the next things that we got for next month and trying to jump into that when we can finally finish up September's work. What is up, Kevin? I didn't say anything until now. Yeah, I didn't know if to come on here or not. So what's up? Check out Ambro Controls. They are sponsoring the live streams going until the end of the year, basically. And I have some brazing videos and stuff like that I need to do. So make sure you check out Ambro Controls and stay tuned for those videos. Just been really hectic September. I didn't really film much of anything for any of those like training videos that I wanted to do. So stay tuned. We'll get back into that in October. I have some reviews to post as well. Just trying to catch up. Let's see. We'll start pulling up some comments. Rana Residential, no dryer call. They had a bad wall outlet. You run these calls for yourself on the weekend, right? So you work a lot, Rudy. But that's awesome. I saw that you were posting like with your daughter a week or two back, and shout out to Rudy. You run a business outside of what you do for work, and that takes a lot. I remember those days working with my dad on the weekends, building up his company, and it kind of reminds me of that. So when I see that, I just think it's really cool. So props to you. You're, yeah, juggling two jobs. Short week. Oh, shit. Short week, off Friday, Tuesday. Wife and I have birthdays. Nice. Enjoy the time off. I think a lot of us don't like to take time off and you forget to take time off. We are looking to hopefully take a little mini vacation, like a weekend one, because there's a 3-day weekend coming up for the kids. So we'll see. Well, actually, they have a 3-day weekend tomorrow, but me and my girlfriend work. There's another one where we should all be off in October. I think that's Columbus Day. And we will be taking a little trip. I was able to do that in my younger days. What's up, refrigeration guy? How's everybody's weekend, work week looking like? Jason, this coming Friday, well, happy early birthday. I'm sure we'll get to it on HVAC nights, which is a little bit closer. That's awesome, though. What is up, Eddie? We'll see. I just feel like, let me try something. Should I do it on Instagram or TikTok? We're going to try Instagram first. Oh, let's flip this around. How do you flip this? There we go. Let's try this. Let's see if this works. I got the Instagram going as well. I could do it through my software here to see if there's anybody on Instagram that kind of wants to chime in for comments and chats and stuff. We'll see if it works. Not bad, not bad. What is up? What is up, everybody over on Instagram? I kind of wanted to try this out, try to do a few more platforms at the same time. Welcome into the Hvac and Chill live show. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll pull them up and we can talk about it. I'm just, like I said, I am so ready for September to be over. We've had a long month, and it finally caught up with me. I was actually down and out for a little while right now. Jason, just physically, mentally, I think emotionally too, just a hell of a week, a hell of a month, and it just caught up with me, and I just zoned out for a bit. What is we got Nasty over on the Instagram chat, not on the YouTube chat. What is up, Nasty? What is up? What's up, Victor? What hair gel do you use? I don't use any hair gel. That's just the refrigerant oil, right? Just like every time you put your hair, or that's a bad habit that I have too, which I don't break out much, but I always end up with crap on my face because I touch everything at work, and then I just like touch my face, or I wipe my face, the sweat off and everything, and then it just becomes it's probably not good for you. So yeah, the hair gel is just refrigerant oil and all the crap that we pick up at work. Strictly PoE, HVAC doctor. PoE. Get rid of that. I know everybody wants R22 again, but get rid of that. Get rid of those old systems. Enjoying the day off, Victor. That's awesome, man. Like, I was supposed to do some stuff today, and I just ended up taking the day off because, you know, I was out of it. There you go, Eddie. The bearing grease. You got it. What is up, Vinny? Vinny does HVAC. Nylon blue for the hair gel. There you go. It doesn't harden. It just keeps it slick. I thought this was an honest HVAC live for a sec. Oh, like no. We're not getting into anything. Just hanging out. HVAC and Chill is what I do over on YouTube. I'm kind of trying to bring it over to other platforms. So I see you guys on the Instagram side, and if you have any questions, I'll bring them up. I also have a YouTube chat going on as well. What is up, everybody? If you guys are coming in late, let me see. We got a good amount on YouTube right now. I appreciate everybody for coming out. I didn't know if I felt like doing this today. I was kind of out of it. I also want to thank everybody that messaged me, left me comments. Very encouraging over the past few days, and I do appreciate it. I will sit down and go through all the comments when I get a chance. So thanks again. And everybody who just messaged me privately. Love 22. Yeah, people, we still have it in our house. We still have R22 in our house. So, I mean, I haven't gotten rid of this one yet. It's still there. Oh, Jason, that sucks. I hope your wife feels better. Nobody likes to get sick. Oh, we got a question. Let's see. Ghost 5.7 just started going to trade school for HVAC, already 3 months in, and I'm about to start my electrical mod. What are some tips you can give me? If you guys are if you guys heard me on YouTube, somebody's starting the electrical part of their HVAC career. What are their tips? Electrical was the worst part for me. That's what took me the longest to learn, I'll be honest. And my dad is an electrician, or used to be. Still had a hard time. Still had to run everything by him. Hey, how does this go? How does this wiring go? How does all that go? If you can read a schematic, that is the biggest thing. So I studied the hell out of schematics, all the symbols. I know I've talked about this before, like all the symbols, all the little things. Yeah, refrigeration guys, like study the schematics. Um, the symbols are important. So um, when you get a pressure that, I mean, when you get like switches and all the safeties and stuff, like closes on pressure rise, pressure drop, understand what all those mean. And then like Victor over on YouTube says, do not get shocked like Curtis. So make sure you check for voltage, you double check, you triple check. I've always said that because I've been hit pretty hard sometimes. And don't take anything for granted. So you're gonna go through, you're gonna go step by step. A lot of the times it's a safety, it's something really dumb, and you just go through it. I've had this thing where I always bring it up, and in my class for like that electrical side, we had times where we had to wire up something from scratch, and they would give us a bunch of wires, and you would have to put your training board together, and they would tell you how to wire it up. The colors don't matter. None of that matters. You need to trace everything and make sure you know where it's coming from, because if you take it for granted, you're going to mess up. You're going to burn something. So I had a classmate who wired his whole, we were given red and black, and you would do like I don't know if it was a line and neutral or high and low. There was something that differentiated them. He did all of his like in black just because he knew where each one was going to go. The teacher came by and checked it, and he actually stopped and showed us, because he's like, this is a good example of, it doesn't matter the color as long as you know where it goes. And that always like stood out to me. So I like to trace my wires. So when I do my diagnosis and all that kind of stuff on electrical, which 90% of your calls are electrical, that's what I was taught, just trace it. Go back and you're going to start tracing it. I've had some that are difficult to figure out, and it's just tracing everything. And I had to fix a lot of units that were crazy, like messed up, like wire nuts, bypass everything. Just sit down, take the time to look at the schematic, take the time to look at where your wires go, and you'll figure it out. I mean, don't be ashamed to just sit there and kind of stare at the unit for a while. You'll figure it out. What is up, Ty? Ice Master. Jason says, diagrams were not my jam. I wasn't very good. Then one day it clicked. Since then, it's made life easier. Diagrams and schematics, learn how to read them, learn what they know, what they are trying to tell you, and you'll get it. My favorite schematics are the ones on the 20-year-old, the ones that are disappearing on the 20-year-old ones. Take advantage of resources. I'm just going to tell you that. I didn't have that. You couldn't look up a manual online. Nasty, you can look up any schematic on any equipment now. You go onto Google, you search the model number, you're going to get Partstown, you're going to get maybe Blue On comes up, and there's a few others that come out, and then a lot of these manufacturers on their website will give you the manuals, the diagrams, and everything, to where like you can probably find, I would say 90% of the equipment that you're working on, or at least something similar, right? Because you kind of know what you're looking at. Like if you see a walk-in box and it's like pieced together, it's all janky and all that. Okay, what is it? A freezer? It has a timer. How does the timer work? It has heat strips, high limits. You can kind of look up all those things separately and kind of piece it together. If I have a unit that like I don't have any information for, anything like that, but it's a walk-in freezer or something, then I'll look up a diagram for like a high limit, a diagram for a defrost clock, the one specific that it has, a diagram for any of the parts that make up that unit. and then I'll go piece by piece and try and figure it out. And you just need to know where your voltage goes, where it stops, where it cuts out. Safeties are just switches. That was a big one for me, is safeties are just switches, because once I figured that out, I was like, oh, okay, that's all it is. It just opens or closes, and I either have power coming through or I don't. And that was a big thing for me. Wiring diagrams included. Thank you. I'll be sure to triple check for sure. Don't want to get shocked. I'm sure it'll happen. Let me tell you, on getting shocked on my end, bypassed disconnects, a lot of breakers mislabeled, changed over time. I have one right now that turns off the walk-in freezer and the pizza oven, so we couldn't work on it during the rush hour. A lot of weird things. So that's why I say the triple check thing is just because you're gonna check for power, you're gonna cut for power, or cut it off and then check it again, and then like just make sure that you don't have any power like on anything that any parts that you're working on. Like if you're checking a solenoid, checking whatever, or defrost clock or something, or whatever it is, something might be bypassed, or somebody might have done something that you didn't know of, and then you get shocked. Yes, sir. I was taught power consuming and power passing. Those terms help me a lot. Yeah, for everybody, like something always is what kind of clicks for you. Like for me, because my dad did wasn't an electrician, so he kind of taught me about the switches thing, right? Like everything's a switch. A safety is a switch. This is a switch. This is only this. He always broke it down, and that's what stuck with me. But if that, like you said, power consuming and power passing, whatever it is that sticks with you and makes it click, hold on to that, because everything's real basic. A lot of techs that I've helped or trained or tech support, whatever, or go behind, it's because they jumped something. They jumped the gun somewhere. They didn't go to the basics, you know. So that's always the thing. Stick to your basics, simplify it as much as you can, and you'll be fine. And be thorough. And that's about it. What is up, Hvac? Finally made it on time. One step at a time, and then you'll understand what you're doing. Yes, understanding voltage at the loads and at switches is Nasty's biggest advice. Oh yeah, that's true. Jason, Train used to be notorious for all black wires. Um, it's really awesome when you can find the color coding, the numbering, but if all that is wiped away or they use all the same colors, which I hate, then it's like, okay, we need to sit down and trace everything. Like, and then you got to make sure you don't lose on one end to the other which one you're working on or which one you're trying to change. Jason, gonna sound like a Homer statement, but our schematics are simple to follow and really easy to find where you need and where it comes from. I appreciate a simple, good schematic. When you understand the science, that's when you really start to learn. Plastic paper clips work amazing for wire tracing. You're gonna have to elaborate or like let me know what you mean by that. But yeah, I've stuck a screwdriver. If you mean like moving things around, I've stuck a screwdriver and accidentally shorted out the next contactor. That's happened. Uh, Daniel. Daniel on YouTube. I just starting my third month in residential doing tune-ups on newer systems, but I have to do more commercial, especially living in Arizona. Oh, yeah, the 160-degree attics. No, thank you. That's why I stick to commercial. Um, A lot of people go from residential to commercial. It's not a big difference. And even if you do anything that I do, like kitchen work, restaurant work, not really a big difference. It's the same components. It's the same deal. Heat exchange, cooling a space, rejecting heat. It's all the same. It's just a lot more or different safeties. And again, that goes back to my electrical thing is like I got overwhelmed or scared of different kinds of equipment until I realized, okay, they all have some sort of temp control or thermostat. They all have some sort of safety, whether it's a low pressure, high pressure switch. Refrigeration, you cannot bypass those things because like typically a system will not shut off if the low pressure cutout is not working, because that is how it shuts the system off. So there's things that you have to learn, and it's just kind of learning the equipment as you go. Like going from one, especially going from one area to another, it might not be the same. Where like on an AC, on a commercial AC equipment, or I think residential has it now, all these high and low safeties are just safeties. On a commercial cooler and freezer, they're how they operate. They're how they turn off. You got fan cycle controls on ice machines. That's how that does its harvest and shuts off and all that kind of stuff. And just understand when it's needed and when it's a safety. Just know what it does. That's basically it. Just know what each component does and why you need it. Annihilator. Mark your wires for the next guy. If you don't, the next guy will be you. Yes, I use tape or like those label things for the wires when I can number them. Or if I can't, especially in tight spots, if it's not a lot of wires, like let's say it's 3 to 4 wires, I'll get one and do one. I'll get the next one and do 2 lines with a marker. I'll get the next one and do 3, and so on and so forth, just so I know from one end to the other, this is like 1, 2, and 3 or 4, whatever it is. But if not, I'll use tape, like a white tape with a marker, or the labels. And I know they make some labels for them. And try to get those wiring, sorted out for you or the next guy, whatever it is. Oh, okay. I got you, Ty. Yeah, train schematics are top tier. I saw your video, Top Gun, on the drain lines. I was telling my guys how to change them out recently. Those are pretty simple. Funny enough, I usually take the whole door with that little middle panel in one piece off. I've just did a couple of videos on it too. Super simple. I actually just changed one the other day because a roofer, which I had to work up there side by side, and that video will come out on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they broke it because it had been fine, and then I went up there because they said it was leaking water inside, and then I see the drain line like in the drain pan, and then you go and like pull on it, and it's just like somebody just put it back there. So I'm assuming somebody ran into it and cracked the pan because the pan was cracked, and it was a newer unit. So I had to go in there and replace it. And the roofer was there over my shoulder. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just a cracked pan. I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, another one. Take pictures. I still do that at almost 20 years. I've been doing this going on 19. I still take pictures, and I always get after my guys if they do not take pictures, because a lot of I work with apprentices, and I work with a senior tech who has learned a certain way, and I've been slowly just kind of helping them here and there. And I always get after them. I'm like, "Did you take pictures?" Because sometimes they'll rip out something, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't wire it, or I don't know how to wire this. Can you help me?" I'm like, "Did you take pictures?" That is a super helpful, important one that you might not think of, but it helps you a lot. And I've done it too, where I miswire something because I'm in a rush, and I go back and look at the picture. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't do that one right, or I missed a wire." Yeah, pictures all day. Just make sure the camera is pointed the right way, because Nasty's like, I always end up with selfies. Ghost, it's going to be pretty hard for, not only because it's wiring, another thing is my professor doesn't really teach us, kind of just assigns us stuff and doesn't explain. I watch so many HVAC videos. Yeah, that kind of sucks, but um, I had really good teachers, so thankfully, because there was no YouTube back then. But if you have any trouble, Craig, Ty, Brian Orr, all the main HVAC school type YouTube videos, you're gonna find anything that you need to. Experience is king, but you can find most of what you need just with a YouTube search. Yeah, Top Gun. We literally just replaced like two, I think two at least in the past couple weeks, and I'm sure there's others that are not as good, but they wouldn't allow us to do maintenance, so we're finding these now. That one was obviously somebody broke it, but every location that I've been to for that customer, because they give us 15 plus stores, and they're all train. You go on the roof, they're all overfilled, like horribly, or they're leaking inside or something. So just trying to play catch up, because I kept telling them, you guys are going to need maintenance at some point, or you should have maintenance. It was like, yes, next year, next year, next year, next year. Finally, a few years later, they allowed us to. Always check for power everywhere. Yeah. Learn where you can. Plant one probe. See, the other thing with checking for power, right, is because I was always just checking across line to line, right? You have a contactor. I do 3-phase commercial. So you check a contactor and it's like, okay, I got 208, 208, 208 across each one. Take it a step further and, like you said, check to a ground or a neutral, and check each one, because you might have one of them messed up, or one of them that's still live, or something, right? And then you're like, oh, okay. Like, so I check power across, and I check power to a ground to like double check. All right, I'm going to hop off of Instagram really quick. I'm going to try something. Sorry if you just came in. Okay, share that. Give me a second, guys. Live. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat over here on YouTube. We'll probably go a little bit longer right now. Trying to see if I can get some other... I'm getting plenty on YouTube. I'm trying to keep up with the chat on YouTube, but I want to see if we can get anything from these other platforms. Let me pull up this one now. Create a live. Chill. Let's see. All right, let's try that. Pictures all day. Okay, let me catch up with the chat. Take good notes. Set the next guy up for success. I love this. I'm not good at this. I've seen people write these nice little paragraphs or really good outlined notes on the panel. That's awesome. I'm not a good note taker, so I wish I was better at that. But that's a really good one. If you can take more notes or get in the habit of doing it, then you can have a really detailed history on that unit too, because you can have, what I like to do is I do like to write in with a paint marker, like this date it got like a new compressor, or this date it got a new receiver, or whatever it is. I don't always do it for every like little part, although I probably should, so we can have a detailed history. But that's always a good one too. You can leave notes on the um, what do you call it, on the panel of a unit. That's always a good thing too. What is up, everybody over on TikTok now? We're trying this out. I'm live on YouTube. If you have any questions, you can pull them up or write them in. I'll pull them up and we'll get to it. I'm trying to catch up with the YouTube chat. Have more work. Yeah, I have way too many pictures on my phone from work. I got to figure out a way to separate that. What's up, Morgan? I appreciate all the, I don't know, I think you just came in, right? I appreciate all the comments. I haven't had a chance to go through them on that video, but very encouraging, very helpful. Just, it's been a long week. Like I was trying to say, it's been a long month, a long week, mentally, physically, probably emotionally. I've just been out of it, and I think it caught up with me today. I was very zoned out for a while. I was very tired, and I haven't been like that in a while. I don't want to say I was burnt out. I don't think it was that. It was just very overwhelming for a bit, especially this week. And I think I'll be ready by tomorrow. Froggy, what's up? Yeah, my cute little podcast. Let's see. When I was in school, some of my teachers sucked, but luckily Ty was one of my good teachers. Yeah, those guys are awesome. The guys that do all the YouTube classes and all that kind of stuff, those guys are awesome because they take the time to actually help in a way that you can understand, especially Ty Brenneman. At least this is what I'm talking about. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yeah, like there's not everybody learns the same way, and I was never great in school. So guys like Ty Brenneman, even guys, Craig and Brian Orr that are super technical. But there's something about Ty just keeps he's energetic and he keeps you engaged and all that kind of stuff. So everybody learns a different way. I appreciate what those guys do so much for everybody, because whenever I've talked to guys that are learning or going through trade school right now, I've asked them, what's your resource? What are you doing to get better? The majority of the time it is YouTube. Like, you're looking up a YouTube video. And if it's guys that do service work, I don't really consider or take my channel into account. I like I said, those guys that I mentioned earlier, Chris Stevens, Curtis, the HVAC guy, a lot of those that you can actually learn a whole bunch from, step by step and all that kind of stuff. That is your resource. I appreciate everybody over on TikTok. What is up, everybody? If you got any questions, let me know. This is just a kind of a Sunday night chill type of deal. I don't even know how to do this TikTok stuff, but we're here. We're trying. But yeah, my teachers were very blunt, very just honest with us, would get mad at us if we asked, like, or if we caused issues in the classroom, because he wanted to make sure that everybody understood, everybody learned, and everybody got it. So if you were clowning around, there was no room for that. But he would answer every question that we had, and he had open discussions because they ran a business. A lot of them ran a business. Like 2 of them ran a business, and they would come in and talk about their, like, what they did and what they did the week before, stuff like that. And then we also had this really cool thing, because now you can do a lot of virtual training, which is another resource that you guys can use. If you guys use, I think one of them's called like Interlearn or Interplay or something like that. There's all these virtual ones, and I think at like if you go to the trade shows and stuff, there's some that's set up and you can try them out to learn and work on equipment virtually. If that helps you too, like actually just doing the task over and over. But in the classroom that I went to, he had a computer. This was back in like '07, right? There wasn't much. And he had a program that would simulate and tell you what's kind of had a diagram of the whole components, like the fans and the compressor, and it would tell you what's not working and what's going on. And it's like you would tell it what to check or what to do, and then it would say like it did nothing or it fixed it, or here are your pressures, this is your superheat. It was really cool at the time, and we were all like into it, so we learned that way too, doing like giving us examples of equipment not working and then trying to figure out like how to fix it, just on a computer, just trying to figure it out, just get like a list and getting our information and then telling it what to do next. That helps some people too. Let's say, oh, okay. Sir Master of None, we use Interplay. It has its pros and cons. I've never used it. I don't know if I would ever. Maybe I would, because we get some kids, like I think we have one that's like a gamer. Maybe that would kind of connect with them. I don't know, but I don't know if I would use it in my business, right? Yes, Ben Victor is right. He does a live stream on his own on Wednesdays. It just got a little overwhelming. As you know, the guy posts every day, so he's not able to make it on Thursdays. What is up, everybody on TikTok? Again, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to be on for a little bit and then probably hop off in a minute. Hold on, let me catch up on the chat. Yes, take notes. That's what I'm trying to teach my apprentices, is take notes. So we do have 2 customers that require some sort of check-in requirement, right? Whether it's a website or an app. One of the guys, because he got chewed out by he got chewed out by one of the managers for something. He thought he covered himself by using the app and taking the pictures and notes. And I was like, take your own, because those are like within the app. I was like, take your own pictures, drag the manager over if you see something bad, like something broken, before you touch it, because they try to blame you for everything. And we had that situation, and it was very hostile. I didn't record like the work because I was already so pissed, but they were trying to blame us for some motors that were not working. But he said they were not working when he got there, or they were like, they're ECM motors, so they were like dancing around, and I guess they finally like failed. I was like, we can't do anything about that, right? So I told him, next time, take pictures for yourself and tell the manager before you touch anything. And in your invoices or wherever you can, write as much information as you can to cover yourself, because that is always the worst thing. I always tell people, imagine like somebody's over your shoulder or somebody's going to check your work, because that is the last thing, especially with us, or I think anybody, right? You could be working with other companies or other trades, and if you do something bad, they're going to call you out. They're going to try and take your job. They're going to do something. So that's how you cover your ass, basically. I've always told the guys, cover your ass. Old timers had to use, or you had old timers and manuals. Yeah, if if they wanted to help you, because that was the other thing, is I didn't have too many people that wanted to help. I had like 2 people that I could call. One of them was great, and he did the work that I did. The other guy did more AC work because I have always done more refrigeration work. So, um, what was I gonna say? As long as you had somebody that you could count on, that's always really good. That was more important back in the day because if you didn't have somebody to call or ask a question, you figured it out by yourself. Now you can go online and kind of ask people like, "Hey, what do you think?" And you'll get a lot of people that want to help you. For now, it's just Jake and I for HVAC nights. If you guys didn't know, check out HVAC nights every Thursday live. What we're gonna do is keep it two, but we're gonna have probably some guests. So, um, yeah, CYA. um, so we're probably gonna have more guests. So you're gonna see like, I really want um some people to come on to help us with certain topics. I kind of want to have some manufacturers, some companies that we've been critical of, some companies that I'm interested in hearing more, and some companies that I think you guys would want like to ask questions to. I've already reached out. I've already had a handful that said yes. So you'll see that on HVAC nights where me and Jake can kind of give them some questions, try to get some answers, and you guys in the chat for that chat can also ask your questions because I think it'll be great to have some manufacturers come on and explain the process of how their tools come about or why they do things a certain way. And like I said, it's going to be some that I've been critical of, and I have an open invitation to come on and talk. So that's going to be fun. Started to print some out. I used to have a whole stack and binders of notes, manuals, and I used to collect them. I used to steal them. I used to take them in my van for the longest time. I had a whole box full of them. And I don't know, I guess it's weird to think about now, but I would go through it. I would read them and I would refer to them when I needed to. And I had a bunch of ice machine ones too, because they would give those out to you at the, what do you call those? The in-person trainings. I forgot what you call them, but the classes and everything, I would always take them and keep them. What is up, Mike? Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to do the live stream. I was telling everybody I was tired, man. Long ass week, long ass month. Felt like I crashed out today. Yeah, I didn't do much today. So it is what it is. What's up, Comfort Tech? Sick Mike, appreciate it. Happy Sunday. It's HVAC and Chill. We do this every Sunday. I'm trying to do it more on other platforms. This is my YouTube thing that I do every Sunday is live stream and take questions. If you guys are here on TikTok, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to get off in a minute probably, but we'll do it again. Get a train. We'll look for a train rep. We'll look for some other. There's some brands that we've talked to that I think are going to be interesting for AC equipment in general. So that's the plan, man. That's the plan. We got Seaton in the live. Oh, you didn't get notified? Man. I did it last minute, to be honest. Let me get through the chat. All right, Comfort Tech. I will send me a message and I'll send you the form to fill out so I can have you on. And we'll set that up. I'm looking for guests right now. I've been real bad about it. Just shoot me a message. I'll get it. I'll get it in. No, I should ask because there's somebody mentioned that on one of their stories. There is I think it was exactly that. Maybe not cruise lines, but like all these like different kinds of boats and things. There's people that they need to do the refrigeration for that, and they get paid a ton of money because they have to go out, and sometimes they're out for days working on this stuff on like on the water, right? So I've heard of it. I didn't even think about it, to be honest. And the guy said he didn't think about it too, but he's seen a lot of people do it. He's never seen anybody post about it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I would have to find somebody that does that. I would love to inquire about that kind of work. My manager watches YouTube and pays to be in certain forums. The new wave. It used to be called college. There. Oh man, that's a whole other thing. Oh, okay, comfort. What is up, Tersh? Been doing it 18 years, and then you just went on your own. We would love to, or I would love to, kind of pick your brain on that, because I've been in this 18, 19 years, and but we've done our own thing for that long, and it's not as easy as people think, or it looks very different on the outside, and then once you get into it, it's very hectic. Oh, Tersh does the boat thing. Typically, yeah, because from what I understand, it's mostly single days. But like, I guess he said like you could get stuck out there if I don't know. I guess if it's a certain type of call. I assume that pays really good. I don't know. I guess it depends. You had to, yeah. Back in the day, you had to earn the old timers' respect for sure, for sure. I had a guy that used to rag on everybody, and I just kind of did my work, showed what I could do, and he's like, "No, this kid gets it." So I was very proud of that because he's like, "This kid gets it," and he kind of took me under his wing, and because I tried hard and I actually was learning the stuff, he actually was impressed, and exactly what you said, Jason. You had to earn the respect. I actually did that, and the guy helped me tremendously with like little tips and tricks, things to get me out of a bind on the weekend. Um, how to how to do the everyday kind of work that we do in the restaurant and fast food business. Great. Yeah, lots of self discipline, especially with the money. That's the hard part. Um, we've been up and down with that, and it has been so good the past few years, and we finally have a good grip, and it's been steady and stuff. Dude, I'm watching with my kid. What it do, baby boo? Jeez. What are your thoughts on the field piece leak detector? They had mentioned my name to do a test on it. I might get it regardless. I want to say Mike is the one that put me onto that one. It does everything, and I actually do like that one. I'm using my Hillmore one right now, which is tried and true for me. Field piece is just as good, but it is very tempting. I think it is. I like the lighted tip and the way it works, but if it can be an all-in-one for me that does R290 and gas and stuff, like that's where they're ahead of the game right now. They have an all-in-one solution, and the previous ones worked great for me. So I would be interested in doing that or getting one. Even if I buy it, I'm interested in getting one. Yeah, I was looking at the old the chats that I hadn't gotten to. Let me see. Dude, I'm going to ask them again because, yeah, I want them as a backup. I'm going to ask them again because they told me that they were working on some stuff. They made it seem like they were going to come out in a month. back in like May or June. Never came out. So I'm gonna ask them again. They said they were tweaking something on it. I do not know why. I thought they looked great, but we'll see. Never used to be, but I live on a ranch now. There's a lot of what do you call it? Oh my god, hunting. So depends on the season. I was looking at your comment, Chris. Hold on. Cruise employees are very much controlled on what they can and cannot post, and behind the scenes. Oh, okay, they're not allowed to post. I've never talked with one, so I didn't know. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I haven't talked to them. I asked Tony about why. No, I asked him about the gauges. I don't think I've inquired for the leak detector because you do have to switch it. You do have to switch the mode on it. So I don't know if it has two sensors or how that works. But the funny thing is, there's a cheap one, the top test one. I don't know if you guys have seen the top test one. It's like a $20 gas leak detector, right? It does propane and gas and natural gas and or combustible gas and R290 and stuff. That actually works on refrigerant. I've never used it for that. One of my guys actually, because I had spares and I gave it to him, like, here, you can check your gas lines with it. And he just told me the other day that he's been using it for refrigerant. He's like, yeah, it works. I was like, huh. So I don't know if that's something similar, if it's a similar sensor. I haven't really gotten into it. And I'm not even sure because I haven't looked into it. I went by the booth for Field Piece, but I didn't really pay attention to what they were saying. Um, I'm not sure what kind of sensor it is or how that works. I would love to inquire. But yeah, it might be, it sounds good, too good to be true. You would have to test it thoroughly to be, I guess, convinced of it, right? But it's just weird because those cheap ones have worked on refrigerants like 410A and 134A, but they're advertised as combustible gas leak detectors. But I never used it for that, so I don't know. But it does seem like a nice option from Field Piece. No, I've been asked about this kind of work, military base and city work and stuff like that. I've never gotten into it. I've been pretty good on the restaurants side of things where I haven't had to look for anything else. But you never know. We are growing. It's been really great. So one thing for me is I'll give it a try, as long as it's not way over my head. Oh, okay. Yeah, I looked into that part of it, or I had seen a video from them. They did mention something about tracer, but I was like, I don't know. But I feel like we all do that anyway. Oh yeah, it is. So it is a heated diode. Okay. uh, I'm probably in the same boat, man. I get inquiries, and then I guess maybe they find out who I am, and I don't get the stuff. I have the Stratus with the different sensors. Pain in, is it hard to change them out? That's the one that I would, if I had to pick one right now that like no money is an issue and it covers everything, I would have gone with the Stratus, at least to try it out, because I've heard good things. I've never used one, but I didn't know if it was a pain in the ass to change them out. I've never really looked into it either. I've just kind of stuck with what I got. I got the Field Piece DR82 and I got the Hillmore infrared, and I'm trying the Hillmore heated diode just as a backup. Collaboration, maybe a podcast. That would probably be the easiest way. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one of those. I gotcha. All right, guys. I'm going to get off. I actually stayed on a little bit longer than I wanted to. Chris, you're the hero. Appreciate everybody for, like I said, all the messages. I don't want to say I'm burnt out. I'm just like really tired. It hit me today, and it was cool to see all the messages that I got, the comments that I got. Um, and again, I'm not trying to start anything. I've always been, I was raised to speak my mind and be honest, and I try to do it in the most professional manner. I've taken that step in my business. So this just in general, man. I've tried to do this in my business where I don't bash other companies. I don't say too much. I just do the work that I need to, tell the customer, educate them on their equipment, and again, try to be the most professional. I try to do that on social media. If it gets taken out of context or the wrong way, I'll apologize needs to where that needs to be addressed. But for the most part, just trying to keep it real. So appreciate everybody. I'm gonna hit the outro, and I'll see you guys.